The Ponder Heart, 1967, a novel by acclaimed American author Eudora Welty, delves into the life of Daniel Ponder, who becomes the target of public accusation after his wife's mysterious disappearance. Narrated by Daniel's niece, Edna Earle Ponder, the story unfolds as if she were speaking directly to the readers, inviting them into the world of the hotel she manages in town. Typical of Welty's literary style, the novel explores themes of individual uniqueness, the bending of truth, and the destructive impact of financial and transactional interactions on human relationships. The narrative begins with a portrayal of Uncle Daniel. Wealthy but not particularly astute, he leads a bachelor's life and presents himself in a well-groomed manner. Edna attributes his somewhat immature and innocent demeanor to a sheltered upbringing. He has bestowed upon Edna an entire hotel, a responsibility she assumes during the course of the events. Daniel's reputation for generosity is well known, even extending to giving away things he himself requires. According to Edna, his inclination to give so freely stems from a deep-seated loneliness. Grandpa Ponder, irked by Daniel's behavior, tries to remedy his solitary state by introducing him to Miss Tea Cake McGee, a widow with little in common with him. Their marriage quickly falters, leading Daniel back to his established patterns. After the passing of Grandpa Ponder, the responsibility of watching over Uncle Daniel falls to Edna. She refrains from setting any limits on his generosity, recognizing his disregard for amassing wealth. Their interactions and his amusing anecdotes become the frequent topic of conversation among the visitors to the hotel. This continues until the day Daniel suddenly vanishes, marrying a salesgirl from a local store, before Edna can fully comprehend the situation. Skeptical due to Daniel's previous failed marriage, Edna questions the validity of this new union, given his inability to nurture his prior relationship. Nonetheless, Daniel assures her that this marriage is an experiment, a trial. Uncle Daniel and his new wife, Bonnie Dee Peacock Ponder, remain married for 5 years before Bonnie also disappears, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Edna eventually confides in her audience about her own feelings of self-consciousness regarding her role as the operator and caretaker of the hotel. She admits to being envious of Uncle Daniel's seemingly carefree existence. Additionally, she reveals her underlying resentment towards the Peacock family, even though she is unable to reject them due to Daniel's marriage into their fold. The narrative that ensues revolves around the search for Bonnie Dee, who eventually reappears and strategically forces Uncle Daniel out of his own residence, taking a substantial portion of his wealth in the process. She then embarks on a spree of purchasing frivolous items, including an electric washing machine that remains useless due to the absence of a power supply in the house. As the story progresses, Bonnie Dee's demise takes on a mysterious aspect. Only when he is on the brink of facing trial does Uncle Daniel come to understand the role his wealth has played in the relationships that have entered and exited his life. On the scheduled trial day, he withdraws all his money from the bank and stuffs his pockets with it before heading to the courthouse. The trial's bizarre nature draws a crowd, with both the townspeople and the entirety of Bonnie Dee's family arriving from overseas, attending. Edna Earle and her attorney attempt to prevent Uncle Daniel from speaking up by highlighting his history of compliance. However, the gravity of the trial eventually compels him to assert himself. After attentively listening to the opposing arguments, he begins to distribute his money within the courtroom, offering it to the attendees. Even Bonnie Dee's family members retreat, recognizing his innate goodness. Despite Uncle Daniel's triumph in court, the novel's conclusion remains tinged with sadness and isolation. Left with nothing to offer the world and no means to attract its avarice or attention, Uncle Daniel finds himself lonelier than ever before. Edna suggests that only in those fleeting moments when he raises his voice did anyone truly grasp the essence of Uncle Daniel, a complexity that had often remained hidden. The Ponder Heart implies that living a life solely focused on virtue can lead to isolation and incomprehension within a community. The novel portrays this kind of existence as morally unbalanced and ultimately tragic. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.